builders, parents, and collectors. On this episode of Mock and Model Monday here at the Creation Evaluation Station, we are going to be evaluating this here. It is Option Part Set 9 Large Booster Unit. It's got a big long name. But it's a 30-minute missions, weapons pack, basically. It's basically a booster, you know. It can be formed into like its own little like plane or something there. These are additional parts that can be added onto your 30-minute missions kits or sisters kits. Before I get into it any further, I just want to let new viewers know that I do in-depth reviews of models and construction kits, both new and old, mostly Lego, but other products as well, such as Bandai. And I also do reviews and discussions of other creative works, such as movies, video games, and animation. Now, they're in-depth reviews, so they can be on the long side, so make sure you're using the little timestamps that are embedded in the red line down here and in the description as well, to jump around to your favorite parts or to use as bookmarks to come back to at a later date. So, let's take a closer look at this box. I do not have this mech, and this is not part of what's inside the box. It's just this down here, or the parts that you see here. I got it, different things that it shows here, some more of the same artwork. Here to get is again on another unit. Now, so we're going to open this up, we're going to look at the parts, we're going to assemble it and look at the pieces, but then we're going to play around with it and we're going to add it to the set the model I put together last week, the Forestieri here, and see what kind of arrangements we can do and see how well it attaches and stuff like that. So that's kind of cool. So let's head over to the light box and see what's inside the box. Let's see what's inside. There's the plastic straps. Pop open the lid. And we have one bag of runners. Looks like 2 duplicate runners. And another bag. These don't quite look like duplicate runners, but there's 2 runners in there. And then we have the instruction booklet. And it's showing how you can attach it in certain ways. That's pretty cool. This won't take long to put together. Of course, it's not as big as a full model. Interesting putting it on the feet like that. So we have OPS 9, Option Parts Set 9, Sprue B, and there's 2 of those. And then we have OSPB 9, A1 and A2. We only got 2 different colors. We got the dark gray here and white, but these will work fine for the Forestieri that I'm going to add it to. So let's go put this all together. Here's our option parts all assembled together, and they have them put together like this to create this rather interesting looking vehicle. It's even got handles here for a robot to hold onto. Definitely has a lot of detail molded in, but you would definitely want to do some painting. I mean, right there is a cockpit, but it's like white just like everything else, so definitely could use a paint job on at least this main part here for sure. But you definitely want to do some panel lining here and there. There's some nice detail in there. Just this already looks pretty good with the color separation, but yeah, could use a little bit more. here and there, and even some removal of some seam lines. As you can see, there were some there, although well, that just needs to be pressed together. But you can take these apart here and look at this main body piece. We've got multiple locations where you can hook things on here, including here. These handles come off, although I think those are not standard ports, so you probably can't put much else on there but these. And then these both divide up into 3 different pieces here. You have this one here that's got the booster, but it also has these kind of cool looking claw pieces. This part moves here, and we also have places here for other hinges here and in here, and lots of little ports. And we also have this little booster here. Needs a little boost. You can see there, definitely could use some detailing on the paint, but there's the verniers in the back. And you got multiple places where you can attach it. Both sides. You got a peg out standing out here, but you got holes in lots of different areas. And then you have what is essentially like a shield piece. There's nothing that moves on it, but it does have some nice color separation in there. It makes it look pretty nice, but could still use some more panel lining. And this is also got some additional ports here and there. So we're gonna, before I do too much with it, I'm gonna go get my Forestieri, and we are going to see some examples of what they have here in the instruction booklet. Like, we're gonna try this and do a couple other things before I mess around with it by myself. Before we get tearing this apart, I just wanted to show what it would look like if he was riding this vehicle. And this is what it would. Pretty neat. He can hold on to the things pretty well. You'd want to have some kind of probably multiple bases to hold this thing up into the air. For one, he's only holding on by those hands, and he tends to swing down, which, you know, that could still be a thing too. He could be holding down and getting ready to be dropped. It's kind of cool, actually. Kind of like that. He lets go and gets dropped to the surface, ready to fight. So this is basically what the instructions show that you can do, but it's not the only thing that can be done. I think having these as legs is interesting and cool, and they are posable, so you can lift up those heavy legs if you want. But yeah, I mean, he's got quite some crazy boost with those legs like that, but I don't think he has quite as much control. But I also really don't like the giant backpack jutting straight out of the back. Now, I can understand it maybe being some kind of fuel supply, but it still looks ridiculous going straight out of the back. So I'm going to start doing some modifications to it myself. I've already got kind of an idea. But before I do that, I did want to say that to do this with the legs, if you've already fully assembled the Forestieri, you've got to pull these out of the back. And they're really hard to do. And yes, you should put them back if you're going to keep it in this pose. But I did not do that because these basically lock in the joints so they don't fall out. Although they're in pretty tight, that almost isn't a worry. But I don't want to keep it like this, so I did not put them in. It's not going to make it look any different. It just goes in the back here and secures the joints more. So I didn't want to put them in because I didn't want to keep it like this. So let's go play with it, and I'll show you what I get when I get done. So I've rearranged the gear, and I kind of like this better. The only problem is it's very back heavy, so it's really hard on these joints. So you might want to, you know, put a stand in here. But what I did, I took the small boosters and put them on his lower calf pieces. I took these two pieces and joined them together to build this shield. Now I wish I could bring the shield down to about the middle point, attach it to the middle point, which is up here, and bring it down to about there. So he'd have pretty much a full-length shield. I can't do that with the pieces that are here, but there is an attachment. You can see the hole right there in the center. It goes right through to the other side. If I have the right little attachment, I could probably do that easy enough. In fact, yeah, there is something I probably could do, but I would have to undo something I already did here, and that would be what I did here on the back. So he's got his original backpack on, and like I said, I did not like this fuselage thing sticking straight out of the back. So, and unfortunately, there is no peg coming off the back here. So what I ended up doing is there was this extra piece in Forestieri, not in the parts pack. This piece right here, I hooked it. It's a clip to peg adapter, I guess you would call it. And I don't need the hinge, but this allows me to give a single hole coming off the back, which lets me put the backpack on. Like so. Like I said, it makes him pretty top heavy, and but I think he looks pretty cool too. A shield up front kind of helps with the with balance, but yeah. And another thing is the torso joint probably could use some tightening up. You just put a little nail polish or whatever on it and make it a little tighter. But there's a lot of weight on it with the way the body is right now with the upper. Well, both the shield and the thing puts a lot on there, so he's prone to bend the wrong way. Yeah, I think it turned out pretty good though. There we go. My final thoughts on this. Now, this turned out pretty cool looking. Though, I must say, it feels like this was designed for a larger mech. These are very heavy, although, like I said, the instructions actually don't have you putting it on their back, having them using to replace their leg pieces. Which, if you do put them on the legs, then yeah, then they become much more actually sturdier legs, because you lose the ankle joints and stuff like that. It just becomes a knee and a upper hip region. But I kind of like this one, this setup better. Like I said, I have some issues. There's got to be some other little adapters and stuff probably. I don't know if there's an adapter pack or whatever, but I'd really like to just change the position of the shield, because of the way the shield is set up. You can only put it there. I mean, I already figured out how to rearrange the backpack, and there's probably different adapters you could use to do exactly what I did. I just happened to use that part, which is that's the neat thing about this, is you can use the different pieces to do the different stuff. I also like the just the vehicle mode, I guess you would say it, and it worked kind of well with the mech that way as well. If you're going to do this and keep it permanently like this, I would definitely make sure you tighten up the joints with some like nail polish or something like that, so that it becomes much tighter. And you might have to do that over again. Just the weight of this backpack is going to weigh it down some. And you also probably want to put it up on a flying platform as well. After all, they are booster jets, good for flying and stuff. Definitely could use some paint, even more so than the regular model, like the fuselage of the jet thing. There's a cockpit there with what would be a window, and it's just straight up white. So yeah, I ended up giving this a 9.5, which is about the same score I gave the mech. You're gonna lose posability putting this on here. That's just gonna happen. But he definitely becomes a bulkier mech, and bulkier mechs tend to have less posability as it is. Yeah, I think it turned out kind of cool looking, the way I imagined it. There is some things that I'd probably want to do different if I could get the right parts, and give it a nice paint job as well. That's my thoughts and the grade I gave it. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments, and please like if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the bell for notifications so you'll get updated on new videos being released. Also check out the links in the description for Facebook and Twitter. You can follow me on there and you'll get notifications a bit faster. And there's also a Patreon down there for you to check out as well. Need some work on it, but it's a big work in progress. So this is the core of the 30-minute missions line. You know, you got a mech and then you got additional armor packs. We're going to be revisiting these again for sure, and we're actually going to be seeing their sister line here in a little bit. And I'm not going to be putting this guy away too much, because we're going to be probably using parts for this on there as well. So stay tuned for that, and I'm going to sign off here and remind you that creativity is key.